Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my world. It's Audrey's world. Audrey's world is a place for the people who are maybe a little sick of reality right now. Like, reality's a little tough, it's a little hard. Maybe it's just like, negative. It's bringing you down a little bit. And that's okay. I'm there with you. So that's why I like to daydream a little bit. I bring on some friends, bring on some guests, loved ones, and we take some time to see what each other's dream world is right now. Maybe there's one problem in particular that we want to just we wish wasn't there. We talk about it, we act like it's not there, we find what is a fake solution, and riff off of that. Or maybe there's just something you're like, oh my god, if I were in charge, that would never have been the case, that wouldn't be the thing. We talk about it, and that's my way of maybe, we can't resolve everything. There's a lot of big things that are maybe a little scary, intimidating, or just I don't know, you're overthinking in your brain if you're anything like me. So this is just a way to escape that a little bit. I give you permission to disassociate, to be a little delulu, to just take a step back to do that because, guys, it is tough to be in that situation. And just a quick little break sometimes, it's not fixing the problem. I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware that there are very real things that are happening in our reality right now that are very scary that we have to fix. But guys, this is the best that I can do right now with what I have. So that's what I'm doing. And I encourage you to do it because sometimes it does help. Sometimes it does help. It doesn't fix everything, but it helps. So if you like to do that, you are in the right place, and welcome. It's very fun to be here, in my opinion. Audrey's world, we're open to anything. We're open to a lot over here, and we'll hear you out. We will hear you out. This week, y'all, this week, it's a little different. I even started out by saying y'all. That's very rare from me. So this week, things are a little different. You got just me. It's you and me, babes. You and me. Scary, exciting. I don't know. I hope you're thinking exciting. I'm not there with you, so I'm just assuming. It's just you and me because I recognize that with the interviews with my guests, I'm driving the conversation forward. I'm asking them questions. You'll hear a little bit about my opinion or about my experience on some things, but you don't hear all from me, and you maybe don't get to hear all of what's really happening in my world. So that's why every few weeks, every few months, I like to drop in just a solo ep. And it's kind of my pulse check from me to you. And I gotta say, guys, if you are watching, I will address the elephant in the room. I have bangs. I got bangs yesterday. They're not full out bangs. It's not like a front bang, like a full front bang set straight across. They're kind of short curtain bangs, and they're cute. They give my face some shape. I'm not gonna lie though, they looked really cute when the hairdresser did them. Of course, shout out Abby, great work. I knew this would happen, where I would wake up this morning and maybe be like, wow, what the fuck did I get myself into? And I will say, yeah, I was a hard sleeper last night. I got some good Z's. And yeah, the way my face was crammed into my pillow, the bangs were, whoo, it was scary. And I was like, what the fuck? I was going through a crisis yesterday. Yeah, guys, I don't know where this decision came from. I scheduled my appointment the night before my appointment, which that was great timing. But I didn't think about it. In my head, I've wanted to do different variations of bangs for the longest time, but in 6th grade, I went with full front bangs and it was absolutely horrible. I couldn't style them. I have a calic, it did not look good. I wanted those Dakota Johnson bangs. God, every time I see a picture of her hair, I want that hair. I think it's so cool, so chic, so cute. It just looks so good. So that's kind of what I was doing in 6th grade. But 6th grade Audrey, 13-year-old Audrey, could not keep up with that. And it was not cute. it did not fit my face shape at the time either. I had weird proportions on my face, and it did not look good. Okay. So I've been a little scarred, to go back to the bangs, but I was like, I screenshotted this picture on Pinterest before my appointment yesterday because I had like 5 minutes to think about what I wanted her to do. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is so cute. I love this vibe, but she'll probably say no because any other time I've wanted to go to do bangs with a hairdresser, they're like, Audrey, you have a cowlick. Like, I don't think it would really like work out the way that you want it to, or like, I don't think it will turn out like these pictures, whatever. Love the honesty. So I was like, okay, Abby, like, here's the pic. I kind of assume I can't do it, but I just thought it was cute. Like, I kind of like the look, whatever. And she was like, oh no, we could do it. Like, do you want that? And I was like, sign me up. Yeah, sure. So, with very minimal thought, maybe 15 seconds of thought, they're bangs for me. I got bangs. And I addressed the cowlick with her, the cowlick in the room. And she's like, no, it will be fine. You just do this and this, and it'll be great. So here I am, banging out. And I don't know, we'll see. We'll figure out if I was going through a crisis yesterday or not. Like I said, I did wake up thinking, what the fuck? And there are sometimes, okay, I don't know how I can describe this for the listeners. I'll do my best. Okay, so you know those images of like nerdy men where they have like, they just don't, they're like in high school, middle school, it's like the classic, like, I want to say maybe 80s nerd where they just have like fluffed pieces of like, it's longer hair that goes down to like their cheekbone, and it's just like all of it's kind of like cut there, and they like move what would be their bangs back a little bit, but they're like greasy face, like braces, glasses. I don't know. I'll put a pic up on social media so you guys know what I'm talking about. There are times when I get angles of this where I see that sort of hairstyle with this, and that's where I really think, wow, what the fuck did I do? That is not cute on anyone. Anyway, that is the elephant in the room that I needed to initially address. Stay along for the ride. I'm sure I'll have dialogue on this over the next few weeks, and maybe I'll grow into like loving them. I mean, I don't not love them or don't not like them. I think it's very cute. I am just very interested to see what the ride looks like, because I think, as my girly pops out there, probably the gays too who are listening, we all know that if you get a spontaneous bang, like exactly in the situation where I got mine, you're prone to regrets. And yeah, so I'm just kind of open to that, along for the ride. We'll see what will happen. Like, I don't know how working out will look. Will I be like one of those moms that has like just like clips or like little barrettes back for her bangs? IDK. Maybe I'll snooky this shit. Like, I don't know, but it is what it is. Side note, also, I am wearing like a button-up blouse today for the recording. I know, a little weird, but like, just go with it, run with it, whatever. This plus the bangs, when I was getting ready, I was like, oh wow, this is giving like I'm a mom. Like, I go to work, I have some kids. It was just, I feel like it's giving that energy, like I'm really growing up. So, yikes. Number 2, the thing to visually address. So sorry for podcast listeners. You'll get some reference points of this if you check me out on social media. I added a pic to my gallery wall into the studio. Ooh, wow, crazy. Ah, yeah, shit is wild in my life, fam. So, what do we think? I got it from Target, so if you would like it, you can have it as well. It's from Target. I think, okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's from that McGee line, which at first I didn't like love her, but I didn't not like her. I'm in the zone of not liking her. I'm not gonna lie right now, but this was cute. So unfortunately, I did pay her some funds, but you know, we can't win them all, I guess. Anyway, I think it's very cute. But according to my hairdresser, I naturally am a pure copper color, my hair. And the frame of this flower photo is also copper. So I feel like I kind of blend in a little bit. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think it's cute, gives more visual interest. There's like, whatever. I like the photo. I love how the photo looks with my striped pillow in front of it. Honestly, love that. It looks great like in the room, but I don't know how great it looks on camera on the pod with me sitting here. So drop your thoughts. Yeah, but yeah, tell me what you think, because I'm just curious. I want to know. I need some outsider opinions. Okay? Please. Thank you. So, in the spirit of catching you up with what's been going on in my world, I thought I'd share a recap of my summer. Since we're in August, we have a very short amount of time before our summer unofficially wraps up, with Labor Day coming up. Thankfully, Labor Day is on September 1st. We have the full month. No need to fret. No need to fret. But keep that in mind. If you had a summer bucket list, or there are some things that you just want to do before the season ends, get to it, put it on your calendars, intentionally make sure that you're, are setting time aside to do those things. When I said it's the end of the season, why did I just felt like it was Bridgerton, like the end of the season, LOL. Anyway, so this summer, if you've been listening, you've heard some of these stories before, but we're sharing with the class. We're making sure everyone is aligned. We all have the same historical knowledge going into this. So this summer, I have been all over. Not any huge trips or whatnot, but I think this happens with summer most of the time. You plan things come up, and you're like, wow, not home as often as you thought you'd be. I fell into that this summer. I thought I was going to be here a lot, and then, things changed, and that's fine. From the last week or two of May until the end of July, every other weekend, I was traveling this summer. And that kind of was a lot towards the end. I was so grateful, and I'm so thankful that I was able to go on those trips, see those friends, visit that family, do all those things. I'm not saying it's because of that, but boy, oh boy, I just felt like on the weekends that I was here, there was a million things to kind of catch up or try to do, or I just wanted to rest. So I was prioritizing that, and that's fine. And then during the week, I felt like I was cleaning, packing, editing the pod, doing things like that, to just stay on top of everything. So it kind of felt like I was running a million miles a minute. And yeah, on that last trip, I'll say when I came back, the first week of August, I couldn't even tell you what way was up. All summer, I've had no idea what day it is. I'm very confused with time. The concept of time, as we know, ever since COVID, is a little tricky for all of us to wrap our heads around. But whoa, when I say I'm back in another dimension, having no idea what time is, that's what it feels like. I think because of this kind of stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. Anyway, the summer was busy. Again, very grateful I got to spend all the time with the people I did, but it kind of reminded me it showed me a different side of my life where I think I needed to hear this or experience this. Wow, the life I live here is nothing, I'll say, super glamorous, or it's nothing really flashy or eye-catching or whatnot, but I have my little routines, and I'm liking the life that I'm building for myself. Sometimes I forget that because it's not exactly where I want it to be, or it's not like people in my life, but it's a good life. It's solid. It works for me. So that was a great little reminder coming out of all of these trips. The little life that I have, it works. Grateful for it. That sort of vibe. This summer, I had 2 weddings back to back in July. It was with 2 college friends. So I've never had that before, where it was 2 weddings, not back to back weekends, but we had one wedding, a weekend off, and then the other wedding. And it was so fun to be able to leave that first wedding and be see you guys in 12 days, especially our college group of friends, or, well, really any of my different sets of friends. anymore, it's so rare to see each other consistently just with like life and schedules and distance. I mean, a lot of my friends don't really live super close to me. So it was really great to just be able to be like, oh my God, I can catch up with them more in 2 weeks. It was just great to kind of have that back to back time. And it definitely made me reminisce or like maybe miss it brought up some things where so it made me realize like, oh wow, it's so great to have this as opposed to maybe what the normal sitch is. So it made me kind of maybe a little sour that that's not how it is anymore. But then I had to recognize that, yeah, not all my friends want to live in Chicago and like that wouldn't be a joyful life for them. So, like, they're living their joyful life, they have their comforts, they're where they want to be. So, I can't want something different for them. Like, I want what's best for them. And how things are now is what's best for everyone. So, although it's not like my ideal situation where we're all living in the same town or like hell, ideal situation we're in the same block and we just like take over. I don't have that, but I was really grateful to have like those 2 weddings. It's so great to see your friends in love. It's so great to see them put together this party and like their ideal party. You know, it's kind of like their dream world, their dream party in a lot of ways, and like celebrating their partnership and their love and all of that. And that's always so fun to see. And every wedding, as we know, is different in their own ways. And I really do feel like each of the couples like brought that special sauce for their relationships into it. And it was just really cute to see. And I'm finally at the stage where I'm not maybe as overwhelmed or bogged down with weddings, especially as compared to other folks who maybe have 5 to 7 plus more weddings a year. I'm more slowing down my weddings per year. So I have a different lens on it now where it is just extra cute to see the couple together, see the party, see how everything comes together. And I don't know. I feel like it's more special now than it was before for me. So that was a lot of fun. That was my June. And then July was a lot of family time. So 4th of July, spent some time with my aunt who has a lake house, and that was great. I mean, you guys were there. It was Sylvia's world. So that was the 4th of July. Great to have that time, like one-on-one with those smaller groups. And then after that, I had a family reunion back in Ohio, back in my mom's hometown. It was really cute to be back there since we don't get to go back there as often anymore. There's one ice cream shop there and restaurant that it's seasonal. It's kind of like a Dairy Queen to some degree, and it's something all of my cousins, it's our like holy grail. We love that spot. And obviously hit that up, and it was so fun to be back there. I'm not gonna lie, that was a big highlight of that trip. But of course, seeing the family that I don't get to see as often. A lot of my cousins are older since my mom's the youngest of 12. A lot of my cousins are just way older than me. Like when I was in middle school, they were in college. So now they have kids, like their kids are 10 or 5, and it's just so crazy. So it's really fun. Honestly, I hang out with the kids quite a bit too, and it's really fun just like seeing their kids grow up and learn their personality. That was like very special and very fun. At one point, we have quite a few mini entrepreneurs in the family, so can't wait to see, like, I don't know, 12 plus years what happens there. Learned that like one of my cousin's kids, they every other day in the summer have a different stand up in their yard where people are like, okay, what is it today? What are we selling today? And like kind of go in and out. So I thought that was very cute. There were some I'm not going to give away their ideas, but like they're onto something. I do think that this child will be quite the entrepreneur when they're older. And then another cousin's kid. This was my favorite. This was actually fucking hilarious. I think everyone's family, like you have those like special desserts at whatever get together you're at. So we have we have this huge cookie table, this huge dessert table. So some of the kids, I think I know who started it, but I'm not naming names for their anonymity. I got you. And I won't tell your mom, but they took some of the desserts from the dessert table, put it on a separate, like, fancy plate. I don't know where they got said plate because it was not the plate that something was plated on. And they put some of the desserts on the plate, and then they were going around saying, desserts for $1, desserts for $1. They were making you pay for the desserts that were on their plate versus what were on the table. And they were kind of hoarding a lot of the desserts. So you kind of did have to cough up some coins for that. It was hilarious. Again, entrepreneurship at its finest. I did try to, cheat my way into that a little bit by saying, like, hey, I'm a kid too. Like, they look at me and they think I'm a kid, talking to said adults that were in the other room. Like, can I get the kid discount? And then they asked how old I was, and that was a little heartbreaking. So they're like 10 and under. So I asked them how old they thought I was, and they said 20. So that was huge. That was encouraging. But then it was a little heartbreaking when I then had to share, ooh, I'm 30. And then one said, you're like my mom's age. And that, ooh, it got out of hand. It got out of hand there. That was unintentionally some fighting words from them. Yes, I am close to their mother's age. And yes, like, it's fine. It's fine. I don't have any kids, so I'm still a kid myself. Like, that the math is mathing and my equation is correct. So, yeah, wow, that was something. After that family trip, I actually got to spend some time. My cousin had just had a baby a few weeks prior. Like, literally when I was there, the baby turned 6 weeks old. So a newborn, like, so tender, so cute. So I spent a few extra days back in Ohio to spend some time with my cousin and do some things around the house, get to know the baby, like, that sort of thing. Since I don't get to spend that much time with them anymore, I was really glad that I set aside that time to be there and all of that. But whew, guys, I cosplayed being like a stepmom in that situation, like a non-working stepmom for 36, maybe 48 hours. Yeah, not to mess around with. That was eye-opening, but like in the best way. Okay, for example, I was so sore. I work out pretty much every day, guys. And I do some weights. I do 5-pound weights, like whatever. I can do push-ups. So I thought that I would be pretty fit to like hold a baby, or like decently okay to hold a baby. Yeah, after my 48 hours at max of being a quote faux mom, I think I'm going to start getting fit to be a mom. Like, I think I need to start working out to be a mom. I never thought I'd be one of those like CrossFit or lifting pregnant ladies. They're onto something, and I think I need to do that now because I was so sore. I was so much more sore from that than like a sculpt yoga class where there's like weights and you're in a hot room and you like do yoga poses and shit with the weights. Like, I was so much more sore from holding a baby. What the fuck? How? That does not make out in my head. Like, how does that work? It doesn't. The baby was like 10 pounds when I was there-ish. The carrier, maybe 5. I was holding a max of 15 pounds for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15. Like, and that's absolute max. The mom was doing it more than I was. And then I held the baby. They were like asleep in my arm for like an hour and a half. And like, what? Crazy. I will say, I think moms like get prepared for that, like the strength and like that sort of thing through pregnancy. Like, you're gaining weight. Then as the baby grows, you're used to carrying them, holding them. So like you kind of get that added strength along the way, I think. At least that's how it works in my head. But like, I could be wrong. I'm not a mom. I'm just assuming. But damn, I was sore. That was very eye-opening. And like, It was also just eye-opening because I know that newborn phase is not a walk in the park. Like, you're getting to know someone new. You're getting to learn this baby's cries, their schedule, like who they are, what they want to be, all of that stuff. So like I know it's not a walk in the park, but I did think it would be like cozy, comfy. And it was that, but I think what was I don't want to say alarming to me, but more surprising to me was that like when baby's asleep, I knew this from my babysitting days, but it's been so long since I like was in that role or like around babies. So I don't know if I just forgot because of that, or maybe this is like more newborny. Like I don't know, but like baby was up, kind of like they'd be asleep for maybe an hour, 2 hours, give or take, for their naps throughout the day. And like, I don't know, every 10, 15 minutes, maybe, baby was like kind of opening their eyes a little bit, moving around. So you're like, okay, like, are you asleep? Do you need something? Like, what's going on? And I just forgot about that. I kind of thought, like, when I go to sleep, once I'm asleep, the eyes are shut. The eyes are shut until I'm waking up. So that was kind of like surprising because, you'd start to do something or, whatever. And then it's like checking over. And obviously you're checking every so often just to like make sure the baby's good, all of that. But that was something I definitely forgot about or was not taking into consideration. So that was good to see. And wow, I used to babysit all the time. In high school, middle school, I was like the babysitting girl. You had a kid, you called me if you needed a night out or something. I would babysit very often, not newborns, but like 6 months and up, or like maybe even younger. I think at one point for summer, I had a baby who was maybe like 4 to 6 months ish. So I've had experience with the babies, but it's been a long time. And I don't know, guys. I mean, let's keep this in mind too. When I was babysitting like that, my frontal cortex was not fully developed. And wow, now that it is, I don't know if maybe it's like the lack of experience throughout the last 10 plus years or whatever. But I was very like second guessing a lot. Or like, do I do that? Is it this? Is it that? Like, I was even nervous to pick the baby up out of their car seat because I was like, I don't want to like rattle you, or like, I don't know, like I'm protecting your head like way more than I ever did before. So that was different this time around, but it was good to see and great. And wow, I mean, I just have so much more of appreciation for moms. I mean, it's an ever growing appreciation. I had working parents, so like I knew it wasn't easy, and like I don't know, I saw that perspective of it. But wow, being there just for like 2 days, even my brain was starting to think differently. Like my brain got into its own like version of mom mode in some weird way. Like even when I got home, I was thinking about the baby, like nap, like I would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, the baby, and I'm like, I'm in Chicago, I'm not with the baby. But I've always said this to my colleagues who are parents, but I see how our day goes, and like I see our frustrating days, and just like knowing that then if I wanted to, I could order takeout and watch Netflix the rest of the night and like literally not do anything if I wanted to. But knowing that they are then responsible for other humans, I'm like, wow, hats off to you. Like crazy. I just don't know what that's like. I don't have my own perception of that yet. And I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So then seeing that newborn phase, I was just like, oh, whoa, more firsthand. And it was really kind of like compounding, like what that all means, and learning more and more about that. So I don't know. It was good for me. That's the only reason why I'm sharing. Thought it could be good for you to hear too. Anyway, now we're in August. That was kind of the trips up to now. And then I've gone on a little house swap. So, The Holiday, the Christmas movie, The Holiday, we love it. We know it. Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, love, 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 love. It's a classic. So the premise of that, as we know, is that these two women, for whatever reasons, swap homes for a period of time. Well, I did that. Not with Kate Winslet or not with Cameron Diaz. Could be fun. Just wasn't the opportunity I had at hand. So we'll try again next time. But A friend of mine, Casey, so from Casey's World, if you listen to that, shout out. Casey's aunt lives pretty close to me in a different city along the lake. And years ago, we were like, oh my God, she loves to visit Chicago. I love a Michigan lake town. So we were like, we should swap. We should just switch houses one time. It took us a few years to maybe make it work or like to really put that dream to reality, but we did it. And I have to say, blast. So fun, so smart. Like, it was great. It was just so fun to have that. So I mean, you'll see more on my social media if you want more about like, that trip. I'm going to make you go to social media to find it. But would recommend. It was just a lot of fun, very cool, and I thought that was a really smart idea. So again, why I'm sharing it with you, because I like to share the things that I think are good with other people. So 10 out of 10 would recommend doing a little house swap for a little weekend. Could be longer, but I just did a weekend and I thought that was perfect timing. And that's where we're at in my summer plans. I know you were all like dying to know my summer, what I've been up to, that sort of thing. Now those were the trips, but now I'll pivot to being in Chicago. So being in Chicago, like, I love this city. There's so much to do, especially compared to where I grew up. I grew up in Ohio, as many of you know. And like, that was great. It was what it was. I'm a girl, I love to have options. I love to have the quick access to things and whatnot. So a city like Chicago, fabulous for me. So I was home on one of my home weekends recently, and I had the morning free. I had some plans that evening with friends, but I had the morning free. It wasn't going to be a nice morning. So the night before, I was like, oh my God, I should do the architecture tour. I should sign up for that in the morning. For those of you who don't know, the architecture tour is something that all Chicagoans would probably recommend to anyone if you've been living here for a while, if you've just moved here, or if you're visiting. Everyone recommends the architecture tour because you're on a boat, every Chicagoan's favorite thing, in the river, and then you jump to the lake for a sec, but you're mostly on the river. And it's a tour of all the buildings. It's a tour of downtown from the water with like that vantage point. And it's just so fun. For me, it was in the morning. I had a cup of coffee and I was on a boat. It was nice weather. Sign me up. That sounded great. So I did it. But it's really cool because no two tour guides are the same. Honestly, I don't think any tour guides gives the same tour twice. Like, they just know so many facts. There's so many stories. They love their job. Like, they just could spew so much info about the buildings and what you're seeing in downtown. And it's really cool. Like, it's really cool. They have a lot of great insight. You always learn something new. Like, I know so many people who have done it more than 10 times and they're like, I learned something new every single time. And like, it's a good time every time. So that's great. We love that. So I did that by myself, and I'm one who I can do things alone. Like, I'm used to doing things alone. I go to dinner by myself. I do whatever. If I want to do it, I'll probably do it, even if that means by myself. So I signed up for that. I was so excited about it the night before. But then the morning of, I was just anxious about it. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But I was very anxious to do it. And I'm not going to lie, everything that I do alone, that's outside of my normal routine. It takes me hyping myself up to do. Like, no matter what. Even if I've been to that restaurant 100 times, I love that restaurant. It's my favorite. If I'm going alone, please know I had at least 5 minutes of hyping myself up to do it. So I told that to one of my friends who I was seeing later that night. I was like, oh, I did this architecture tour. Like, I did it, alone, like whatever. It was fun. But I was like, I was so anxious during it. And she was like, really? And I was like, duh. I don't know. To me, it felt so obvious that, like, of course I do things alone, but like, it still is not easy for me to do. Like, I would obviously be preferring to do them with other people, whatever. And she's like one of my besties. Like, it was, so if she didn't know, That means I'm not good at telling people that that's still something that is hard for me to do often, most times. And so I'm sharing with the class that because I think there are a few good things to hear. Because doing things alone, there's an art to it. It is terrifying. You do feel like you stick out like a sore thumb. I feel like no matter what situation you're in, you just kind of feel like you stick out like a sore thumb sometimes, and that can be a hurdle of doing it. But something that keeps me going when I'm doing those things is something I actually heard earlier this year. I love Chelsea Handler. I have read, I think, most of her books. I definitely haven't read all of them, but probably a solid like 90% I've read. Love the woman. Think she's not only hilarious, but so inspiring, so smart, so confident. And I'll end the compliments there. Confident. I find her to be like someone who's so confident. I don't think you could like stump her or rile her feathers. She just doesn't seem like someone who's like breakable like that. Or whatever, you know what I mean. I was listening to her audiobook and she said something that was along the lines of, this is not a direct quote. At one point I realized that I had to stop waiting for those like pretend people to be in my life to start doing things. And like essentially what she means and like tells later in the story is that at one point in time, she was kind of like waiting for a boyfriend, waiting for a friend, like waiting for a sibling, waiting for someone to be that person to like step up and like want to do those things with her, or like, you know, be available to do those things that she wanted to do with her, whether it's the architecture tour, whether it's I don't know, a trip or going to a new restaurant. And she was like, I just had to stop waiting for them to come around and just like do it on my own. Like, I'm not waiting to do the things that I want to do just because I'm doing it by myself. And wow, that was a great reminder for me, because I think for me, as I told you, I see Chelsea Handler, I assume she's like so confident. Things like that wouldn't ruffle her in any way. So it was so refreshing to hear that even like a dinner out, going on a solo trip, like doing those things for her, she still has that thought going through her head, or at some point there was something that was saying like, wouldn't that be better with someone else? Or like, ooh, you might be the weird loser doing that alone, or you know, whatever that train of thought is for her or whomever. And it was just a great reminder that, like, yes, she might still have that, but she's not waiting the fuck around for like these imaginary circumstances to come up just to do what she wants to do. And that is so refreshing. And yeah, that's something that I think about often if I want to do something alone, but I have to hype myself up to do it, or I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do that alone again. Like, I don't know. That's kind of my train of thought. Like, ugh, I don't want to do this alone again. Like, I just wish there was someone here who was like, could do this with me. But for me, the alternative is like not doing that and not doing something I want to do just because someone else isn't there. Like, I don't know. That's silly. To me, that seems silly. And if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. So thank you, Chelsea Handler, for that bit of advice. And now we can also reference Tracy Ellis Ross. I have yet to see her like solo travel show. So this is just based on the clips that I've seen. But for those of you who may not have seen the clips like I have, she has this new show where she's traveling. I think she's like traveling to different spots, and she gives you like traveling tips. She like shows where she's going, so it's kind of like a travel show in that respect. But then she's doing it alone. So then you do see her like going to the activities by herself. You see her eating alone, like navigating any mishaps, like all of that. And I think that's really refreshing because she too is someone who like incredible, smart, confident, beautiful, creative, like all of those things. Like I wouldn't anticipate her to be like ruffled, or she seems like very comfortable and confident doing things alone because she has been single. Like she doesn't have a husband, she doesn't have a kid, she doesn't have a boyfriend, like that sort of thing. So she does seem like someone who would be comfortable doing that alone, and that wouldn't be any like pause for concern from her. But there are clips of her kind of showing like no, this is what's going through my head right now. I feel like a loser that I'm going to dinner by myself, or like I do wish I was doing this with other people, with my friends or family, or, a boyfriend or whatever. But like, I think to Chelsea Handler's point too, like she's not waiting around for someone to come up and just do that. At some point, if you want to do something, if it's something that you're really passionate about doing or trying or whatever, at the end of the day, you're the one who wants it. So just go ahead and do it, and like do it for yourself. I don't know. It's a great reminder for me, and I find those to be really inspiring examples. So maybe for those of you, if you listen to Audrey's World often or have been keeping up, I always like to share a small win, because as an adult, doing new things I think is really hard. Like, we don't often get the chance to have new experiences that often, or like be in a position to do something totally that we're not great at, just because we've set up our lives to kind of accommodate to things that we're good at, or that we're at least like used to doing to some degree. So trying those new things, getting out of our routines, things like that, they sound small, but like they're actually really big. And trying those new things can be really hard. And maybe sometimes you hear some of the small wins and you're like, I wish I could do that. Or like, I don't know, maybe you don't, and that's fine too. I don't really care. But maybe you're really terrified of doing something alone, and maybe hearing those examples is just maybe some encouragement for you, or just knowing you're not alone and having maybe any of those thoughts about like, I feel like a loser, like, oh, I don't like this, or, whatever. So I don't know. From me to you, that's what I do. And you gain a new skill when you start to do things alone. And it is comforting to know that like you got your own back at the end of the day. All of that to say, the architecture tour is my small win for this week. It was, a small win, just getting up, doing something I wanted to do, doing something a little different, and doing it by myself. So, small win for this week's episode was going on the architecture tour solo. So, you've heard about my current reality. Let's get into the dreaming phase. Let's get into my head is in the clouds. What am I dreaming up of? What is the ideal world? Guys, I want to keep it light. I want to keep it fun. So please know I want equal rights. I want good access for everyone, but I'm not going into those details today. Like, I just want it to be light and fluffy. That's what I need right now. So just keep that in mind. Dream world is, I wish... Okay, a part of me with the whole bang situation, yes, I'm going back to the bangs. It will be a hot topic, at least for today's episode. I can't predict the future, but I'm sure it will come up again. Maybe I'll do like weekly bang updates. Maybe it would just be like very fun to see what they could look like grown out. Like there's some sort of maybe like AI or just some sort of software where you can like see all these different hairstyles, but you can see not only what they would look like immediately, but when they grow out, and then provide you any tips and tricks on how you can better like style that for yourself based on your current routine and what you currently do. So it's not adding any like new huge to-dos, but it's just being like, okay, Audrey, when you do these bangs, instead of doing this with your straightener, like flip your wrist this way, and like, I don't know, you'll get that look a little bit better or something. Thinking ahead about where I want these bangs to be, I'm like, oh my God, what will they look like in 2 weeks? Will I hate them? Will I love them? Like, what is happening? So that could be cool. That could be good to know for hairstyles. I know I said this a few episodes ago, but I am still ranting about sidewalks. The sidewalks, maybe we need to make them bigger, or maybe I thought it was very obvious, the like social construct of like, if you have a group that's taking up a majority of the sidewalk, someone in your group just shuffles over to the side. So the sidewalk is 50-50. And that still does not seem to be the case. And it's driving me bonkers. I am over it. City of Chicago, people of Chicago, this is my PSA to you. If you have a group of 3 or more on the sidewalk, I swear your friendships will not be ruined if one person or 2 people kind of shuffle over to your side a little bit more. The conversation, it might be like a little muffled for give it 10 seconds, but you can come back and like, it will be fine. Your friendships will not be destroyed if you share the sidewalk. So please share the sidewalk. Okay, that would be very obvious in my dream world. Or the sidewalks would be bigger, or maybe there's literally a divide in the middle of the sidewalks like there is on the street, just signifying one side versus the other. And maybe that's what we have to do. I don't know. But that's what's going on in my dream world there. Also in my dream world, everyone gets a great night's sleep. And I'm not talking, I think a lot of people maybe go to a great night's sleep is like 8 hours of sleep, give or take. For me, not gonna lie, easy to achieve every night. That's not really what I'm going for in this. The time doesn't matter as much, but just ensuring that deep REM, like that deep quality or high quality of sleep happens every single night. So then you can just wake up like, boom, refreshed, ready to go. Maybe one night that's 6 hours. Maybe one night that's 9 hours. I don't know. Or maybe like that doesn't matter, but just as long as you can just boom, wake up kind of whatever it is at like the end of your REM cycle or whatever cycle it is where you have to complete it and then you like wake up feeling refreshed, like that would just happen every night. Would love that. I think that sounds really dreamy. I mean, there's more I could add to that probably, but for now that sounds good enough and that's just what I'm running with. So that's Audrey's dream world this week. And that's all I got for you guys. I mean, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was just you and me. I don't know how I feel about these episodes. Like I like doing them, but I don't know. Do you? Do you like them? Do you like learning more about me? Do you like learning about what's happening in my life? I'm open to feedback. It's your world and I'm living in it right now. So you tell me what you want and I got you, babe. All right? I got you. If you are liking the episodes and liking the pod, well, I gotta say thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It's very fun for me to do. It brings me joy. I love connecting with you, but I love connecting with my guests and just like having one-on-one time with them. It's a dream to me. So thank you for liking something that I enjoy doing. And if that's the case for you and you haven't liked, rated, reviewed, subscribed, followed, done that wherever you listen, do it now. It just helps. Why not? Help a friend out. But also share the podcast with your friends. Share episodes with them. Tell them about it. Do what you got to do if you're enjoying it. Spread the word. I would appreciate it. And then, let's just say you're like, ugh, what does Audrey look like during these episodes? Are the bangs really enough to talk about like she was today? Or like, what's that picture she was talking about? Or you just want to know what the body language is like during these conversations? Don't you fret. You can check it out on YouTube. Yes, I have a YouTube for my podcast. It's not really a podcast, but it is now in today's terms. So yeah, check out Audrey's World on YouTube. I have a channel with all of the videos that relate to my episodes. So check that out. I got you there. And then maybe you're like, I don't want that, but I would love to see behind the scenes clips or learn more about you. Or, maybe sometimes I do miss you and I need to see you more than just once a week. Well, then I got you. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok, also at Audrey's World. And you can find more content, behind the scenes clips, learn more about me, all of that there. If you want to hear your dream world on an upcoming episode, email me. Write your dream world into audreysworld@gmail.com and it will be read on an upcoming episode. So if you're like, ooh, I think this is a good suggestion for a dream world, or like, Audrey, you're missing this is great, or you just want to share yours, I want to hear it. Hit me up, tell me about it, tell me where you're listening from, introduce yourself. Like, I would love that. So tell me about your dream world and I'll share it on an upcoming episode, and I can't wait to hear it. So thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you again next Tuesday. Love ya. Bye.